already doing deals. Like they're trying to give you a free tire change. They're trying to give you a free car wash and all types of stuff to get out to these games. This is wild. Look at how empty this arena is. Look at how empty it is.
Before we get into this incredible story, if you're fascinated by the real, unfiltered drama behind the world of sports, you need to be part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive like this one. It's a price that defies all logic for a professional sports playoff game. $6. That's the cost of fancy coffee, a cheap lunch, or a ticket to the pinnacle of women's basketball, the WNBA postseason. This isn't misprint or a flash sale gimmick. It's the shocking new reality for a league that, just weeks ago, was experiencing a historic boom. Arenas that were once packed with electric energy now sit half empty, echoing with silence.
$9. This is the cheapest it's been to get into an Indiana Fever game all year. This is actually the cheapest it's been. Look, I still think it's going to be nearly a sellout because I'm sorry, if I lived anywhere near Indiana, if it was 10 quid, I'd go to the game. I'd go to the game. I'd absolutely go to the game. I don't care. I'll pay $10. It's cheaper to be in the arena watching the game than it is to sit at home. Probably more expensive than it would cost to go to pay for one game on Fever Direct, I'd say, if that's a thing.
Tickets that fans once fought to buy for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, are now being practically given away. So what happened? How did the WNBA's victory lap suddenly turn into a desperate scramble? The answer lies with one player, one injury, and a collapse that has exposed a terrifyingly fragile foundation of an entire sports league.
I think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial...
The image of a WNBA playoff ticket selling for a mere $6 is more than just a headline. It is a powerful symbol of a dramatic market correction. This price point, cheaper than a meal at a fast food restaurant, signals a collapse in demand that is unprecedented for a professional sports postseason. The value of a product is determined by what consumers are willing to pay, and in this case, the message from the fans is deafening. What was supposed to be the league's premier showcase, its crown jewel event, has been devalued to practically nothing overnight. This isn't just a dip in interest. It's a fundamental shift that exposes the fragile nature of the recent boom. For context, when Caitlin Clark was active, courtside seats for her games were considered investments, often reselling for thousands of dollars. The contrast between then and now could not be more severe, moving beyond sports commentary and into the realm of a serious business case study.
The NBA is in a panic right now. The WNBA higher-ups are panicking. They don't know what's going to happen. I already let y'all know. I showed y'all the numbers that they was concerned about the playoff ratings and what they will be for the networks. They're concerned about it already. No Caitlin Clark here to carry everybody. They don't know how these numbers are going to look. Tickets are they're already doing Black Friday sales for playoff tickets. There are teams already doing Black Friday sales.
This section of the story sets the stage for a deeper investigation into how a league's fortunes can become so perilously tied to a single individual, raising critical questions about long-term strategy and sustainability in the world of professional sports. To truly grasp the depth of the current situation, one must remember the incredible heights the WNBA reached during the peak of Caitlin Clark mania. Her arrival was not merely a successful draft pick. It was a cultural phenomenon that transcended the sport. She didn't just improve the Indiana Fever. She transformed every arena she played in into a must-see event, creating a gravitational pull that forced the entire league to adapt. Teams like the Washington Mystics and Chicago Sky made the unprecedented decision to move their home games against the Fever out of their smaller, regular venues and into massive NBA arenas like the Capital One Arena and the United Center solely to accommodate the tidal wave of demand.
From all the WNBA players that the league is not just Caitlin Clark. Stop acting like the league is not just Caitlin Clark. There are other people who are doing things. So Caitlin Clark has been injured, so she hasn't been playing. Since Caitlin Clark went down, the WNBA ratings have dropped over 55%
Yikes.
across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
Fans didn't just show up. They traveled across states, packed these stadiums to the rafters, and created an electric atmosphere that had been rare in the league's history. The financial impact was equally staggering, with resale prices for courtside seats reaching $4,000 or $5,000. For a moment, Clark's Fever were the hottest ticket in basketball, even overshadowing the NBA's Indiana Pacers in their own city. This period, now known as the Caitlin Clark effect, demonstrated a level of marketability and mainstream appeal the WNBA had never before experienced. Every boom period inevitably faces a test, and for the WNBA, the test came in the form of a devastating announcement on September 4th. After weeks of speculation following an initial injury on July 15th, the Indiana Fever made the collaborative decision to rule Caitlin Clark out for the remainder of the 2025 season, including the playoffs. The player herself confirmed the news on social media, expressing profound disappointment and thanking fans for their support. This announcement was a gut punch that instantly deflated the league's momentum.
It's understandable in this era to figure that tickets for playoff games are more expensive than the regular season, but Fever tickets for Tuesday night remain very affordable. $12, $13. I don't know what they're going to lie about as far as attendance goes. We're going to get into that momentarily. There are tons of tickets, hundreds of tickets available, if not thousands of tickets still available for tonight's game at a cheap price of a hoagie sandwich and a bag of chips.
The Fever's playoff game on September 16th, which should have been a celebratory event, marking their first postseason home game since 2016, was transformed into a stark reminder of a terrifying dependency. The energy and anticipation that had defined the season evaporated overnight. Furthermore, the decision timing was pragmatic, with the regular season ending shortly after and Clark having been out of game action for months. The window for a safe and effective return had realistically closed. This official shutdown ended the hope that had kept many fans engaged and set the stage for the challenging period that followed. The consequences of Clark's absence were not subtle. They were a statistical freefall. The most immediate impact was on television ratings. Games featuring Clark regularly drew over 1 million viewers, with her first playoff game the previous season racking up a whopping 1.8 million viewers. However, the moment she was out, the audience vanished. The league's viewership plummeted by over 55%, with primetime games struggling to reach 350,000 people.
WNBA is in a frenzy right now. The cash cow is not available to play. The golden goose is not available right now. That is Caitlin Clark. So now everyone has to get their numbers on their own. We saw Caitlin Clark bring in a whopping 1.8 million viewers for her first playoff game versus the Connecticut Sun last season. That was more than all of the other playoff games that was played that day combined. More than all of the other playoff games.
The All-Star Game, which Clark was set to headline, saw its ratings tank by 36% without her, but the most visual, damning evidence was seen in the stands. Tickets for playoff games, once priceless, were now being sold for pocket change. Courtside seats were available for around $200, lower bowl seats for $12, and general admission for an unbelievable $6. This wasn't just a decline. It was a market crash. The empty seats in the arenas served as a silent, powerful testament to the fact that for a significant portion of the audience, the attraction was not the league itself, but one singular player. The numbers painted a clear and uncomfortable picture of a league struggling to maintain relevance without its brightest star.
The cheapest ticket available to see the Indiana Fever at the Connecticut Sun in the first round of the 2024 WNBA playoffs? $133. Let's just say it's not near that expensive this year. It's not. So right there, Indiana Fever just had Caitlin Clark cut a W.
Naturally, this catastrophic drop leads to a difficult and controversial question. Who is truly to blame for this mess? Some point fingers at the league and the Indiana Fever's management, questioning whether they adequately protected their most valuable asset. Clark, known for her fierce competitiveness, had never missed a game in her college or rookie professional career, but struggled with injuries throughout the 2025 season, appearing in just 13 of 41 games. While the search results do not detail specific on-court incidents, they show a pattern of a player pushing through various ailments. The team management faced a difficult balance between encouraging Clark's desire to play and making pragmatic decisions for her long-term health. Ultimately, with the clock running out on the season, they made the collaborative, if disappointing, decision to shut her down to allow for proper recovery. This decision, while likely correct from a medical standpoint, highlights the immense pressure on the franchise to capitalize on her stardom.
You can get courtside seats for $200. It is $200 to go sit courtside. Second row courtside behind the basket is $200. 1 to 3 tickets. It is $200 to sit courtside this game. This is, in fact, the cheapest. It is cheaper to go to this Fever game. This is the cheapest it's been to get into the Fever all year.
The question remains whether a more cautious approach earlier in the season could have prevented the situation altogether, or if the league's physical nature inherently placed its biggest star at risk. The current situation presents a sobering reality check for the WNBA. The league is on the cusp of a monumental 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal set to begin in 2026, a time that should be spent solidifying its place in the sports landscape. Instead, potential partners are looking at data showing that the audience can drop by more than half when one player is absent. This fragility raises fundamental questions about the sustainability of the league's growth.
The last time the Indiana Fever posted a video of Caitlin Clark talking was almost a month ago. But they know who they need to post when it's time to sell tickets. Damn. Putting CC front and center only when it's time to sell Oh boy. Oh boy. And we're talking about the tickets, folks. Don't hate the player, hit the game. I'm just a lonely messenger. That's it. Look at these ticket prices. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Look at these ticket prices. $13, $12, $55 for section 100, $27, $147 for section 5, $55 for section 19, $330 for courtside seats.
However, there is a potential silver lining. The Fever, against all odds, embarked on an improbable playoff run without Clark, powered by other talented players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. This demonstrated that compelling team stories exist beyond one individual. The challenge of the league is to leverage the spotlight Clark provided to build a more resilient star system and deepen fan connections across multiple teams and players. The hope for the future is that this season becomes a learning experience, not a permanent setback. With ample time to recover before the 2026 season, Clark is expected to return at full strength, and the league must now work to ensure that its foundation is strong enough to withstand the absence of any single player, no matter how brilliant. The timing of this collapse couldn't be worse. The WNBA is navigating the most critical juncture in its history, standing on the precipice of either achieving long sought-after stability or facing a stark reassessment of its market value. A monumental 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal with ESPN, Disney, and Amazon is set to begin in 2026, an agreement that was supposed to be a transformative victory, finally providing the financial foundation to increase player salaries, expand marketing, and fund new franchises. This period was meant to be the league's victory lap, a time to solidify its status as a major, permanent fixture in the sports landscape after years of fighting for recognition. However, the recent volatility has cast a long shadow over these ambitious plans. Now, potential partners and network executives are undoubtedly looking at a terrifying graph, a graph that illustrates a precipitous drop in viewership and engagement the moment Caitlin Clark was sidelined. Seeing a league's audience evaporate by over half when a single player is absent is a sobering reality for any entity about to invest billions of dollars. It forces a fundamental and uncomfortable question into the boardrooms. Was the WNBA's record-breaking 2024 season a true indicator of lasting organic growth? Or was it a temporary bubble, artificially inflated by a once-in-a-generation phenomenon that cannot be reliably replicated? This isn't just an academic debate. It strikes at the heart of the league's valuation. Media rights deals are priced on projected audience delivery and advertiser interest. If the core audience is proven to be fickle and tied overwhelmingly to one athlete's presence, the perceived risk for the broadcaster increases significantly. They may begin to wonder if they are investing in a robust sports league or essentially betting on the health and career longevity of a single 23-year-old rookie. This creates a paradox for the league. On one hand, Caitlin Clark provided irrefutable proof of concept. She demonstrated that women's basketball can capture the mainstream imagination, draw massive crowds, and generate significant revenue. The data from her healthy season is the very foundation the league used to justify its increased value. On the other hand, the data from her injured season reveals an alarming vulnerability. It suggests that the league's broader ecosystem, its other stars, its team rivalries, its narrative depth may not yet be strong enough to retain that casual audience on its own. This situation puts the WNBA in a difficult position during high-stakes negotiations. While they can point to the historic highs, skeptics can now point to the devastating lows, arguing that the baseline value without Clark is closer to the league's pre-2024 numbers. The implications extend far beyond television contracts. Corporate sponsors who had flocked to the league may now reconsider the ROI of their partnerships if the eyeballs disappear so quickly. Cities considering bidding for one of the planned expansion franchises must now weigh a new variable. Is the investment sound based on the long-term health of the league? Or is it a gamble on the presence of a transcendent talent who may not even be on their roster? The league strategy must now aggressively address this fragility. The challenge is twofold. First, to ensure Caitlin Clark returns healthy and continues to be the incredible draw that she is. And second, to use the spotlight she provides to accelerate the development and promotion of other compelling stars and storylines across the league. The goal must be to prove that the rising tide of 2024 can lift all boats permanently, not just one. The future of the WNBA depends on its ability to convert this moment of intense, individual-focused interest into a lasting, league-wide passion. The $2.2 billion question is whether they can successfully make that transition before the bubble of doubt pops. In the end, the story isn't really about the number 6. It's about what that number represents. Those $6 tickets are more than just cheap seats. They are a stark, undeniable indictment written in the language of the free market. They are a message from the fans, written in the clearest terms possible. The message is that for all the talk about the incredible depth of talent across the WNBA, a significant portion of the mainstream audience primarily tune in for one reason: Caitlin Clark. Her absence didn't just cause a dip. It revealed that the league's broader appeal, built over decades, is still perilously shallow when it comes to capturing the casual sports fan. The empty seats in Gainbridge Fieldhouse during a playoff game are the lasting, haunting image of this entire saga. They tell a story of incredible potential, explosive growth, and a devastating vulnerability that threatens to undermine it all. The WNBA was handed a golden ticket to the big time, a chance to cement itself in the mainstream consciousness. The open, and now deeply urgent, question is whether the league's leadership learned anything from watching that ticket's value evaporate almost overnight. This moment serves as a critical stress test, and the results are undeniable. The league's heavy reliance on a single star exposes a fundamental marketing and narrative failure that predates Clark's arrival. For years, the WNBA has rightly promoted itself as a league of phenomenal athletes, but the strategy of promoting the league as a whole has repeatedly failed to capture widespread attention in the way a singular, transcendent figure naturally can. Caitlin Clark did not just break records. She broke the traditional model. She proved that a compelling individual narrative could be the most powerful engine for growth in modern sports. The challenge now is whether the league can use the blueprint Clark provided to build a more resilient future. This isn't about finding the next Caitlin Clark. That's an impossible task. It's about learning how to better package and promote the many other compelling stories that already exist on other rosters. The league is filled with veterans who have been legends for years, fierce rivalries that have deep history, and exciting rookies who bring their own unique flair. The problem hasn't been a lack of talent. It's been a lack of effective storytelling that resonates beyond the core fan base. The path forward requires a strategic pivot. The league must undergo what can only be described as a star creation initiative with the same intensity and resources it puts into league-wide marketing. This means giving teams and the players' union the tools to build individual brands. It means encouraging personalities, highlighting unique backstories, and allowing the distinct characters of the game to shine through. The NBA's historic boom periods were never just about the sport. They were about the magnetic personalities of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. Fans connect with people, not just logos. The WNBA has those personalities, from a veteran leadership of Diana Taurasi to the dominant two-way prowess of an Io Wilson and the electrifying play of a Sabrina Ionescu. But are they being presented to the public as must-see stars in their own right? Or are they being somewhat lost in a "we are all stars" collective narrative that, while well-intentioned, often dilutes individual marketability? Furthermore, the league must confront the elephant in the room, the style of play and its presentation. The physical, often rugged defense is a point of pride for many purists, but the constant stoppages, the wrestling in the post, and the perceived inconsistency in officiating can be a barrier to entry for the casual viewer drawn in by Clark's flashy, long-distance shooting and dazzling passes. This isn't about changing the fundamental nature of the game, but about critically evaluating whether the product on the court is being optimized for entertainment and accessibility. Could a slight emphasis on freedom of movement, similar to what the NBA implemented, open up the game and showcase the incredible offensive skills of all players? The goal should be to create a product that is not only competitive, but also consistently thrilling to watch, even when the biggest name is on the bench. Ultimately, the $6 ticket is a warning siren. It's a signal that the historic growth of the Clark era was a golden opportunity, not a guaranteed outcome. The league's future success hinges on its ability to perform a delicate balancing act. It must fully embrace and protect its golden goose in Caitlin Clark, ensuring her health and longevity are paramount. Simultaneously, it must use the spotlight she provides to illuminate the entire league, accelerating the development of a multi-star system that can engage fans through multiple entry points. The WNBA has been given a glimpse of what is possible. The task now is to build a foundation so strong that the next time a superstar goes down, the arena isn't half empty, and the tickets aren't an afterthought. The lesson of the $6 playoff seat is that in today's sports landscape, you don't just sell a league. You sell the stars, the stories, and the spectacle that make it unforgettable. The WNBA's next move will determine if this chapter is remembered as a temporary setback or the moment the league truly learned how to solidify its place in the big leagues for good. What do you think is the single most important thing the WNBA should do right now to secure its future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to continue this conversation about the business of sports, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives.